What's going on, guys? Kit Bash here, bringing you another video. This time is of the custom Kit Bash Electro figure. Now, I sold my classic Electro. I don't know. I was just looking at it and it just wasn't resonating with me. So I know he had an extra head, and as soon as I sold it, I remembered the extra head, and I automatically thought, it'd be cool to Kit Bash an Electro. It's something that no one does. No one makes classic Spider-Man villain Kit Bashes. I don't know why, but I digest. I Kit Bashed this. It took me like a day or two because the parts I wanted to use originally were different than the parts that I actually used. So the parts I actually were going to use was a slimmer Speed Demon body, and I had some jacketed arms on it, and I just wasn't sure what I was going to do for the legs. So I went back to the drawing board. I remembered I had this Electro body, and I knew I wanted him to look. I wanted him to look a lot like the PS4 model, because I really like that version of Electro. I like the way the suit looked. I like the way he was represented in that video game. So it's something I really wanted to translate into, having on my shelf, especially having a PS4 Spider-Man. Having a PS4 Spider-Man figure too really inspired a lot of this Kit Bash. So for starters, I'm gonna run down the parts, and then I'll show you the paint and everything. So the parts I used, I started, like I said, I wanted him to have the PS4 look, but I wanted him to have like a containment suit look, and I wanted him to have like a look where he had to get power from an outside source. Not that he doesn't have power, but just to help him boost his power, So the suit, I feel like if you paid attention to this, and once I show you the vest, you'll see what I'm talking about. The suit really looks like it's power giving him more power than he has, because he has the gauntlets, and then these are grenades from the specialist version of the Death Trooper. This is on the belt. I took two of those and I chopped them off, glued them to this jacket. This jacket is from a Black Series Cassian. Is it not Endor? Just a Black Series Cassian that came in a 3-pack with the Death Trooper, Jyn Erso, and then Cassian. Took his jacket. I glued these on there. I glued some wires on it. I looked up a lot of reference pictures of the model of the Electro from the game, and he had a jacket, but his jacket went to his arms too. I didn't really want to do that because, like I said, I wanted to mix them. So really, the heaviest thing that's inspired by the game is the vest, because I really wanted to have him have external power. Like these things go off, they send a charge here, this holds a charge, and it just powers him the hell up. That's what I really wanted to go for. So a lot of the cues on the jacket came from the game. The suit, the containment suit I did came from the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. I had a guy comment on Instagram, and I looked it up and I liked it. So yeah, the vest. These grenades are from, like I said, the Specialist Death Trooper. These shoulder pieces here are from is it King Thor, the Odin Build-A-Figure, the shoulder pad he has. Those are from that. I just cut it in half and glued it there, because in the model in the game, he has a lot of tech pieces on him, and the tech pieces have wires running under them, and it's like a exosuit, so to speak, on his arms and his chest. I wanted to go with that look a little bit, but I didn't want to run the wires up his arms and limit articulation, so I didn't. But yeah, I got the wires running under the batteries, all the way under the pad. If you can see that. The wires run, let me focus. This is terrible. So I got the wires running under the batteries, as you can see in the front, under this shoulder pad piece, and then under this backpack piece. This is like a bigger external battery. This is the Wasp. I used the Wasp folded up wings. I just cut the little wings off the bottom, but I used the Wasp folded up wings. I painted that yellow because it was red. Wasp folded up wings backpack. I just cut the wings off. This is from a gun. I think Deadpool has the gun. I cut that off the gun, and I put this part yellow. I painted all this stuff yellow because I wanted to look like it was on, like it's charging, and I did the same with the gauntlets right here, if it's not too much. I did the same with the gauntlets right here, and the batteries is what I'm calling them. Just to look like everything was on and it's charging and it's working. I painted these wires. They were red and blue. I just painted them green and put a yellow one in there too. So they just run all through the vest. So they pretty much, they start here. These run under here, run that way, and then come around, and then come back around. If I didn't even show none of that. So pretty much I got the wires running from under these batteries here, all the way around. They loop under here, they come around up, and they do the same thing. They run under this battery pack here. They run under this battery pack here, under the arm, and all the way down to this other charger right here. So it just keeps going around. Infinite loop, but the vest just gives him his power. That's how I see it. So yeah, that's the vest. And now the body is the amazing Spider-Man 2 Electro body. The arms are from the MCU Ant-Man. I think that's from the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. And the legs from the hip to the knee are the Wasp. The legs from the hip to the knee are Ant-Man. These knees are from the Electro body. These lower boots from this green part down to the boots is from an old MCU Hawkeye figure. I don't even know. I just had the body. I had the body with no head and no weapons. So I was like, I've always eyeballed these boots, and they just came in handy with this figure. I wanted to use the MCU Ant-Man body because it has the insulated look. Like, you can see the texture on there. You can see the texture on this part right here. It's just crazy. It really looks like a bodysuit, which is what it was. But the texture is what got me. I was like, oh yeah, I need that. So the texture got me on the upper boots and the legs, and then the body too. I was just like, it just looks like an overall containment suit. It looks pretty good. He articulates and everything. He still has full articulation, no joint rub, no anything. And then just for kicks and giggles, I give him one of these lightning hands. See if I get one for the right side. I cannot actually, but I'll give him a lightning hand just so he can be. Let me pop this hand off so he can be powered up. I think this one's loose, but yeah, gets a lightning hand, and yeah, you can really sell you can really sell it like he's really powered up. That's what made me want to do it. I really like this figure. It came out way sick. So now that I went over articulation and the parts I used, these arms were originally red. The legs are red, and the body was black, but it had that blue. It had like, is this focused? Yes, it is. It had like a blue shading on the chest. And instead of me painting over all of that, which I don't mind painting, but yeah, I have a paint rub right there. You probably can't see it on camera. There's a little paint rub right there, but there's a glare on it. But I just dyed all of this black, and these upper thigh pieces are hard plastic. And I'm noticing when you dye, I'm gonna do a video on dyeing figures too, because there's a lot to explain. There's not a lot to explain, but there's certain things that don't dye, and I know certain people won't get it. So I'm gonna do a video on the types of plastics that actually take the dye and the ones that don't. So for starters, these upper thigh pieces are hard plastic. They don't really take the dye really well, because this soft plastic, I'm not gonna say it breathes, but it expands with the heat. It gets loose and it expands with the heat. So this stuff will open up and the dye will get in there, but this stuff won't. I would literally have to boil this in order for this to accept that dye. So yeah, these were all red and black. Black was cool, but red wasn't. So I stuck them in the dye for about an hour. Same thing with the upper arms. I didn't dye the lower arms because I didn't want to get rid of the silver. I didn't want to get rid of any of the silver, so I didn't dye those lower arms. Everything else got dye. The torso, the crotch piece, the boots didn't, because I didn't need to. They were already black. So what I do with a black base is I don't directly paint. I just dry brush, because it gives it that depth. It gives it that that textured look and the depth that you would want. It gives it that textured and depth of a base coat. So when things are black, I just dry brush. So everything was black, and I just hit this with like probably 5 or 6 layers of a dry brush. And I only used that many layers because I mixed up a particular green, and I ran out of the green, so I had to mix up another green, and it was like a shade lighter, so I had to recoat the whole damn thing like 4 times. So yeah, my favorite part of this figure, is just pretty much how it came out. Like, I wasn't expecting it to come out the way it did. I was expecting it to look different in my head, but the way I executed with the parts that I used, I think I nailed it. So Yeah, like I said, heavily inspired by the PS4 game. Has a few different iterations. Oh, the belt too. This belt is from Secret Wars Captain America. I forgot to talk about that. But yeah, I just glued it in the back. I would almost put this battery right here, but it was running into the vest, and I didn't want to put it there and then twist the waist and it pop off. So, but yeah, overall, this figure's a 10 out of 10 for me. I really like the way it came out. Okay, there we go. I really like the way it came out. It just looks really sick. It looks like Electro is powered up, and his face is scarred, and it doesn't look like a movie figure. It kind of does, but it doesn't. It's like in between. It look like it could be a comic, movie, video game figure. Like you could put it anywhere. Like literally, like here he is with the PS4 Spider-Man, and it looks like a good duo. Even though he's a little short, I don't know why he's short. I think it's because of the legs. His lower legs, but he's a little bit shorter than Spider-Man, which kind of sucks, but I mean, who's to say they're the same height? Who's to say they're the same size? So I really like it. It looks really good. Next to on the Spider-Man shelf, it looks excellent. Like I can put him next to Green Goblin, and it looks like not that they belong together, because he's really comic inspired and he's like a mixture of 3 different genres, but I can see him being in a comic book with a classic Green Goblin. You never know. I really like it. I like the parts and pieces I use. I like the way it came out. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. And please share these videos. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. And it's awesome. I really want to keep this channel rolling and keep it moving. So if you can, share these videos on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want. Recommend it to somebody. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.